Are you having trouble with repetitive thoughts? See, this is quite common because a lot of people tend to forget that everything that we create is basically cyclical. It has a certain life. It starts somewhere and it ends somewhere. But life is cyclical in the end. And thoughts that we create are technically life forms because we give life, our life energy, we give to something. We create a minor physical form and it simply exists in there. Just like a pulsar, it will try to simply warn you that it exists, right? A pulsar doesn't specifically warn you, but you can see it blink, from time to time. And it blinks more powerfully because, it exudes radiation through its poles. And when those radiation poles, those radiation jets, you know, swing in there as they spin, they swing somewhat towards you, you might see it a bit shinier. Similarly, a thought, you may take it like that, because in the end, a thought is a kind of life form to which you have given a body through your attachments. When you attach yourself to a thought, you give it a bit of your life force. It's like you're creating a little being close to you in your mind. May you call it a demon or an angel, this kind of doesn't matter because in the end, a demon is an energy form that doesn't serve you and can actually prove harmful in a way. And the angel is what you call something more benevolent in the end. See, the problem with repetitive thoughts is that once a thought is created, once something physical is created, it will seek to become free of its physicality in the end, because all that the piece of life that you are seeks is to become one with creation again. And it becomes one with creation when it becomes capable of leaving this physical body in a conscious way. A thought becomes less and less significant to the mind the less you simply give in to it. See, you are taught that everything you think, everything you do is bad, and this leads to you suppressing your thoughts. When you suppress your thoughts, the problem is you're not just denying them their chance to simply liberate themselves and become less and less impactful on your mind. When you're suppressing them, you're making them stronger, right? Haven't you noticed? Every time you think about something, someone tells you it's bad, you must not do that. They call it reverse psychology. It is just how the mind functions. The more you deny the mind something, the more you suppress something, the more the mind creates of it, right? And sooner or later, you will feel overwhelmed by it. You create a little fear of something, you start suppressing it, suddenly it becomes so powerful it simply overwhelms you, right? I heard there is something in psychology which is called the rule of the several seconds, or 3 seconds as they mentioned. When a thought comes to your mind, don't suppress it, just let it go. In the end, what's the worst that can happen, right? You're not some magician that can shape the world by just thinking about something, right? You're just having some thoughts pass through your mind. Whatever they are, whether it's suddenly popping up, some images that, someone's being butchered or someone's being hurt or someone's gonna die or you're gonna get hurt. People get to think a lot about this because this is what they feed their mind. A lot of people suffer because of incertitudes in their life. Everything is uncertain in life, obviously. And they just, when you are too uncertain in life, you will end up sooner or later drawn, for example, by horror movies. Because people, when they love drama and you combine that with uncertainty, horror movies and video games will be something you will naturally tend towards. Because once you invest enough life energy into something, you become used to it. It's not that you become used to it, but the life force within you will feel that that is the way, and it will push you towards that. If you tend too much towards certain thoughts or kinds of thoughts, you will simply become invested into it. When you wake up in the morning, right? A lot of people, what do when they wake up in the morning? They just check their phone. When you check your phone, well, see, when you wake up in the morning for 1 hour or 2 hours, you're still in a certain state where you are far more receptive to energy. What happens when you check your phone? Well, you just get negative energies, a lot more negative energies, right? The sick society always has something for you. There's always new drama. There's always something bad that happens, new news about a war, something, assassinations, car crashes, accidents, earthquakes, all sorts of these things. The mainstream media is always ready to give you more drama. The big problem is when you do this first in the morning, obviously you're gonna absorb it even more. Don't forget the quote, how you start your day, that's how it's gonna be. Because if you start your day in a horrible way, with horrible mood, it's gonna be hard to swap from it, right? If you don't believe me, just look in time and you will see. First thing in the morning, you feed yourself some drama, it's gonna be horrible the whole day. Try simply smiling every time you wake up. Try to go out for a walk, for a stroll, because people want change in their life, but typically they don't want it necessarily. They just crave it, but they're not craving it enough. They're just distracting themselves with a so-called crave for a change, because life always wants a change, but you simply don't feel worthy of it, right? If you want a change in your behavior, in your life, obviously a change in behavior needs to be first, right? Because if you do the same thing again and again and expect a change, well, that's a bit of madness, right? So repetitive thoughts, you have to understand they influence you at a certain level. Yes, because let's say we all have masculine and feminine energy, right? Well, I kind of, from a certain standpoint in my life, I couldn't call them energies anymore because they're a bit more than just energies. They're forces. They're beyond just the simple concept of energy, because energy lives and exists everywhere. One Once every now and then, energy becomes a bit more compact and it creates matter. But energy is far more than just some chemical stuff or some metaphysical stuff. It is a bit more than just that. But I don't have the great words to simply define it. But the very simple point is the masculine and feminine side are always going to be affected by your thoughts in the end. Because once you start pulling yourself down with other people's emotions and other people's junk and shit, the problem is every time you get distracted, your masculine will always feel weakened, right? When you always focus on someone else, on the news, on everything that is outside of you, you will feel disempowered, right? Because you're giving your attention away. When you're giving your attention away, you're giving your life force away, right? Where your attention goes, energy flows. So the very simple point is when you focus on other people's energies and shit and the such, you're also giving basically your life. Imagine that each and every day you have a certain HP bar which simply drains slowly and surely. The more you focus on drama and on everything external, the faster it simply depletes. And obviously you will feel, low HP, you will feel low energy. When you focus too much on the outside, you will feel disempowered because everything in this sick society has been designed from religion to culture to schooling systems to health to everything, especially the news, right? It's like don't get left behind, right? Don't get left out, right? The fear of being left out. Always focus on the outside and you will feel disempowered from your masculine side. The feminine side, if you feed it too much negativity, your feminine side is an amplifier, right? The feminine energy within is an amplifier. You give it drama, it will get better at absorbing drama. What happens next? Well, it will become dependent on drama because now you have made your life force used to the idea that that is the thing. That is what must be done. You have to understand your life force doesn't have an awareness. You should be using your awareness because this is the gift of your physical body. When you learn how to tame the two energies, when you learn how to make use of those and function based on what they function as, not on the impulses of your body, because most of the impulses from your body you have taken from your parents, from your ancestors. You may not know who your ancestors are, you may not even believe in them, but they are still influencing them. They will be influencing you even 100 lifetimes in the future because you will get the ancestral karma once you are born from your mother, from your father, and their corresponding ancestors as well. It's a lot of weight on everyone. People don't believe in karma. You don't have to believe in it. It's going to influence you regardless. So your feminine side will start creating even more of that drama. right? You will see with a lot of the distorted women in society, if they don't get drama from outside, they will create their own drama. They will keep punishing themselves because they have made their own life simply too adapted to the fact that that is the way and that is what they must do. They're not worthy of anything. Well, when you start thinking that you're not worthy of something else, that's even deeper, down the rabbit hole, and it requires a lot more aid. And in the end, when you look at things, what you put into your mind can actually end up easily hurting you. Because this sick society has realized a long time ago that it doesn't need to hurt you physically. Yeah, every now and then they want to kill you with, poisons in the air, poisons in the water, in your foods, medicines that are poisonous, and all sorts and the such. But ultimately, all they need is to constantly bombard you with negative energy. Because most people don't know how to make use of energy or how to simply be graceful with energy. Because when there's too much of it, you're not going to be able to block it. All the people tell you outside, learn how to block energy. You're not gonna ever be able to block energy. All you need to learn is to be exactly like a plant. Let the energy flow because a plant is just like a receiver and transceiver, right? All you have to do is understand that your spinal cord is like a transmission relay. Energy comes through you from the cosmos towards your legs and goes to the earth through your system, and it comes from the earth through your legs, through your spine and your body, and it goes out into the cosmos. You are simply like a wire, and you have to let things flow through. If you constantly block all the thoughts, if you constantly disallow your emotions, those are part of you. It's like you're a machine, but you don't like that your processor is functioning. You're a machine and you don't like your graphics card that is functioning. You're not gonna function well, is it? It's always gonna be something painful because this sick society has thwarted your reality so much. You're just constantly confused. The mind is always confused, but so much more confusion at the time it already becomes painful. I've been through that. It's like whatever you do is overly bad. Everything you think is bad. Even religion, in a way, constantly accentuates this. I mean, it's not necessarily religion, but people under false ideas of religion, they punish themselves because that's what their ancestors have been doing. And in order to keep punishing themselves through the pain that they're feeling, they have to invent all sorts of ideas. And then they, put the blame on God, they put the blame on some kind of religion or some kind of belief that, it must be done so. So be careful of the thoughts that you're putting inside of you because what you put into your mind is just a generator, a creator, right? Whatever you put into your mind, the mind will simply amplify. Haven't you seen every time you do something, sooner or later, it will come back to your mind. Someone told you something, sooner or later, your mind will simply remind you of that. It's not of malicious intent, it's just that that thought's moment to try to liberate itself from your mind has come. So that's why it will come into your mind. What's the worst thing? You can imagine all sorts of things. You will see your mind will try to imagine all sorts of things where you're taking vengeance, you're hurting them, you're whatever. Just let it flow. Just let it flow. You do your own thing, let your mind do its own thing. It's free cinema in the end. You're not some kind of wizard that, if you let your mind wander about, killing someone or whatever. Because when someone hurts you, what's your first impulse, right? You want to hurt them back. So the mind functioned on this principle. Why be afraid of letting it be? You're not gonna thwart reality with some simple thoughts in your mind. Just do your own thing and let the free cinema go. You have to pay tickets, or you have to pay some license in order to see movies. Your mind can create movies as well. You don't need any tickets for that though. So the very simple point is let's simply the camera roll. You're just gonna get some images and who the heck cares anyways. The more you fight those things and you deny those because you've been programmed ever since you were a child by stupid parenting that everything you think is bad, everything you feel is bad, but everything they do to you when they hurt you, that is never bad, right? Start asking yourself questions. Why is it everything that you do bad, but when people hurt you, that is never bad? It is the same thing with society, right? When the sick society wants to kill you, it's never a problem. But if you want to fight against it, you're always anti-Semitic. You're something, right? You're homophobic. You're anti-this. You're anti-that. You're an extremist, right? It always has this loop, right? where you're constantly being hurt. When you want to fight back, you're the anti-hero, right? Because this sick society is always the hero, and their only mission is to kill you because that is their point, right? That is their herodom, right? They are only heroes when they kill you, and when you want to fight them, you're the anti-hero. So remember all the thoughts that you put into your mind, because your thoughts, if you invest too much into them, they become like poison. And what does poison do? Well, it can maim you, it can hurt you, it can also kill you. So hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. You're appreciated. Take care, enjoy life, and this being said, Ferenc Board signing out.